Hello and welcome back to a brand new episode of the Geek Press Podcast. On today's episode, Noah and Lewis talk about game store horror stories, as well as the brand new movie musical Wicked, and we touch upon DC's brand new alternate universe, Absolute DC, particularly Absolute Batman. If you enjoy what you're listening to, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Check us out on all social media across the board, and you'll hear/see me in a minute. Goodbye.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, days and nims. My name is Luis Gutierrez, and welcome to another episode of the podcast. As always, I'm your host, Gutierrez, and I am joined by my ever growing list of rotating celebrity co-hosts. You know him, you love him, Mr. Joaquin Phoenix. How you doing, Mr. Phoenix?
Hey, it's me, Joaquin Phoenix. How's it going?
You know how Joaquin Phoenix sounds like.
I truly don't.
You just told me the other day. Me and my mom were watching The Joker.
Is that Joaquin Phoenix?
Yes.
Let me tell you. We watched 12 minutes.
That's all you need.
Of the Joker, and my mom picked up the remote and she said, "Let's watch something else." And she turned it off. And honestly, iconic behavior from my mom. I love that for her. And I was just like, oh. I was okay with it. Like, it was fine. It's 12 minutes. You can't say anything about a movie which is 12 minutes. But I was fine with it. But I was like, oh, were you not vibing with it? And she's like, it's just too sad. I don't want that right now. And I was like, you know what? You got a point.
It's a very sad movie.
It seems like a very sad movie because I remember that was like a big draw of it because apparently it addressed how like this is all I've heard online. It like addresses how like mental health isn't really addressed. A lot of incels are saying, particularly towards men. I don't know if that's true or not.
I think it's mental health in general. Like I don't see a preference on men. Like it just so happens he's a guy, you know. But yeah.
But hello everybody. I'm Noah. I'm forced to do celebrity impersonations at the beginning of every episode, even though I fail 99% of the time. And the thing is, since I watched 12 minutes of that movie, I don't remember how he talks. What else has Joaquin Phoenix been in?
I'll get into this later, but I watched Gladiator 1, and he's in Gladiator 1. He's the Emperor.
Is he in Oh, is he the Emperor?
He's like the main villain of Gladiator 1.
He's like the guy with he looks like pale and sickly, right?
I guess, yeah, kind of.
Alright.
It looks fitting to the time period.
But welcome to the podcast where we talk about whatever we want to talk about. Lewis, what have you been watching? What have you been listening to? What have you been up to? Where have you been?
So let's see. I have been in the middle of a bit of a career shift, just a smidge. I'm not gonna get too much into it on the podcast, but things are in motion now, so it's like beginning of next year I should be starting this new job, and really excited for it because it's different than journalism. That being said, I'm not leaving journalism behind, but I'm kind of leaving journalism behind just a smidge. Unless something approaches me, or I come across something to like give me a full. And what have I been doing? Same old answer for games. I haven't really these last couple months I haven't touched my Xbox. Personal reasons for the most part. It's just because a lot of stuff happened to me, so I wanted to get a break from video games. And I've mainly just been playing Baldur's Gate with my girlfriend, and we're almost done with the game now. The game is because we only play like once a week for like maybe 3 or 4 hours. So take that. It's a 60. It's like a 60, 80 hour game. So like 1 week, 4 hours, spread that over the course of a year. And we're almost done with it now. I'm really excited. I'm really enjoying the game a lot. And as for stuff I am watching, I'm almost done with What We Do in the Shadows because I believe there's like 6 seasons, and we're like on season 5, and it's really good. I like it a lot. And we're gonna go see, my girlfriend and I are gonna go see Gladiator, who's totally real. We're gonna go see Gladiator 2 on
Gladiator's totally real.
Yeah, Gladiator is totally real. We're gonna go see Gladiators. I was looking at the calendar. We're gonna go see Gladiator 2 on the 10th. Yeah, we're gonna go see Gladiator 2 on the 10th. So we last night we were watching Gladiator, the first one with Russell Crowe, Joaquin Phoenix, and it was good. It was really fucking good. Like,
I've heard nothing but great things about it.
it starts off a little slow because like they need to introduce everybody. They need to
Yeah,
like,
they set everything up.
yeah, and it's like, spoiler alert for the 2000 movie, Gladiator. Um, it starts off with this like giant fight scene,
Kevin.
and it yeah, fuck you, Kevin. And it does like this Lord of the Rings thing, which like I don't think it's
Mhm,
necessarily a good thing, but it was like a time period thing where it's like it's this intense battle and it's all these blurry shots and like people stabbing each other and screams.
mhm.
Like you know how Lord of the Rings does that for the Sauron
Yeah,
battles, like in the flashback
yeah.
sequences. It's just like that, and
Mhm.
I'm like, I fucking hate this. This like why are we doing this? I'm like, come on, Ridley Scott, you made Alien. Like you could do this.
You know, a director making one good thing doesn't mean the
Yes, it
things they
does.
do is good. I've learned that as an adult.
But it's like that part was just kind of a little hard to watch because it's like every other scene was like a blurry stab. But
Mhm,
the transition to when he becomes like a runaway slave to a gladiator is a like that
mhm.
opening part right there is kind of slow. But as soon as you get over that little hump, it gets fucking good. And then
Okay.
but I will say this, and me and Elizabeth were talking about it because I was like, how is this gonna tie into Gladiator 2? Other than they are in Rome, and they're fighting in a Colosseum.
Mhm. There you go.
And
That's all you need.
yeah, and so Elizabeth was like, because like at the end of the movie, Russell Crowe,
Mhm,
I keep saying it's Russell Crowe. I think it's Russell Crowe.
mhm.
Russell
Yeah,
Crowe
Russell Crowe's in the first one.
Russell Crowe dies at the end. He kills Hakeem Phoenix and he dies.
Mhm,
And then it's like, oh my god, he is a soldier, he is a warrior, he like blah 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 blah. And it's like it's this very bittersweet ending because he dies. And so Elizabeth's like, oh, so Gladiator 2 is a cash grab. Got it. Because like I don't know where they can go with this going forward.
mhm,
Like it ends on such a positive note, and it's like, okay, clearly they failed in what they were trying to do,
mhm,
and this is back. And that being said, I was looking up the reviews on Gladiator 2 specifically,
mhm.
not one. It seems to be kind of mixed because it got like a 80 for the audience and like a 70 for critics.
Critic score, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm curious to see if it's good. Like I'm predicting that I'm gonna walk away from that movie and be like, nah, it was a movie, wasn't good, wasn't bad. Two and a half
Mhm.
hours of my life I'm not getting back.
What else you were gonna do with those 2.5 hours, huh?
Play Baldur's Gate.
Yeah. Oh, I was saying that I saw a tweet that Grindr released their top 2024 men,
Huh.
and speaking of Gladiator 2, Pedro Pascal is number one.
Yeah, pretty
Did
attractive
you
guy.
see? Have you seen this list?
Mm-mm.
There are four other names. I want you to guess them. They're very popular. They're
Aaron
in the
Taylor
pop culture.
Johnson.
No, surprisingly.
Huh. Was it the new Human Torch? I'm blanking on his name. Quinn, I think. Something
Um,
Quinn.
no, not Joseph Quinn.
Okay.
One's a football player.
Josh Allen.
No. One's in the bear. I'm just dropping a lot
Jeremy
of
Allen
obvious
White.
hints. Yes, he was number five.
Who's the
For
football
number
player?
four, Travis Kelsey.
I was gonna say that, but I felt too easy because I was like Josh Allen because he's the guy who's
Mhm,
married, who's engaged to Haley
mhm,
Steinfeld, whatever her name is. So I was like,
mhm.
that's a given right there. But okay, Travis
Grindr
Travis
people
isn't
are
even all
very
that.
basic.
He's not even all that
He's
attractive. He's just
he's not.
here.
These are very basic white
Here's
grinder men. I'm assuming.
here's the
Okay.
thing about
Okay.
no, I wouldn't say about gay people. I'm gonna let me tell you about gay people. Okay, they've had
Yeah.
it too good, too long. I'm just kidding. No.
Gotta start rounding them up.
No, okay. Here's the thing about bearded guys, all right?
Okay. Oh,
You shave
beard
that
is
fucking
makeup for
beard.
men. Yes, beard is
You
makeup for men.
you shave that fucking beard. They are
Mhm,
they are a baby. Okay, you want a conventionally
mhm,
attractive man. You gotta and I say this like this is just the first person that came top of my head. You look like you look at a Robert Pattinson, someone like that who's like
mhm,
who looks clean with the beard. You look at a Chris Evans who looks clean with the beard and arguably looks more attractive with the beard. You look at someone like
mhm.
that. All right, you don't look at these Travis Scott because you
Yeah.
shave his face. I guarantee you, he looks like a fucking man child. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I'm just telling you. Come on, gays, get
No,
it together.
this list is very basic. Number one is Pedro Pascal. Number two is Jonathan Bailey.
Jonathan
Number
Bailey.
three, Jonathan Bailey. He's like an actor. He's been in a bunch of stuff. I could not. He was in Wicked. That's all I know.
Was he
He
the
was
guy who
in
cheated on his
fellow.
wife?
Fellow Travelers? No, that's the other guy.
I don't know. Yeah,
Number
I'm
three
looking
is
it up. I
Bad
have no
Bunny.
fucking idea who he is. I'm sorry. Who's number 3?
Uh, three is Bad Bunny.
Okay, all right. That's fair.
Four is Travis Kelsey, and 5 is Jeremy Allen White. I feel like that's a pretty basic list.
Oh, white boys,
Like, there's
except for
nothing.
Bad Bunny.
Yeah, it's all yeah. And Pedro Pascal,
Oh yeah, Pedro Pascal. I forgot.
Hispanic, but he's light skinned Hispanic,
Mm-hmm.
So I just thought that was funny when you were mentioning Gladiator 2. I was like, oh, I just saw that. Like the most basic list of light skinned men. I was like, for Grinder, that checks. That checks a lot. But yes, I did see Wicked. But before we do that, anything else you saw, watched, read that you want to get into?
I've just been
While we do our little recap.
I've been painting my Halo miniatures. The thing is, there's like 32 of them. You good?
Guys, I played Halo Flashpoint and I don't want to say I liked it, but I understood it. Like I got it, and I didn't enjoy that. I don't want to do it. I feel like I'm going to. For Christmas, you know what? Early Christmas gift. The next time you want to play, I'll play. That's my early Christmas gift.
Early Christmas
on top
gift?
of my other.
All right,
Yeah.
I'm holding you to that, and then we're gonna play again on my birthday.
Yeah. Okay, 2 separate times. No.
Yeah, I'm almost done painting all of my Halo Flashpoint miniatures. Thing is, like, I love painting miniatures, but I forgot there's like 32 of them I have to paint, and I'm like, God damn, this is a lot of painting to do. I enjoy it though. I throw on some Critical Role in the background, not Critical Role, College Dropout.
Mention 20.
Yeah, there's this campaign they're doing where it's like it was like 4 years ago. It has like Matthew Mercer in it, and it's like they're playing as the villains.
Oh yes, I love that one. It's like an inverse of like Lord of the Rings, where they're all like the bad guys. I love that one. That's a good one.
Yeah, so I have that in the background, and then when I run out of that, I'm probably just gonna pay for a Dropout subscription so I can watch Junior Year. They're not on Senior Year yet, huh?
No, and they don't like plan it out because junior year was like a few years after sophomore, so I don't really know
They'll get to
when
it.
or
They're like
how.
Frank Miller shit. Like we'll get to it when we get to it.
We get to it when we have a story about it.
Okay, I mean, hey, that's fair. I'd rather
Mhm.
them kind of get like a good like idea of where the fuck. Anyways, that's not here nor there.
Mhm.
But yeah, I'm almost done with my Halo miniature flashpoints, and then after that, I gotta jump to my Warhammer miniatures, and then
Mhm.
I'm out of miniatures for a little while. But I've just been uploading them on TikTok. It's been fun. Get some
Mhm.
people talking shit every now and then, and I get some people be like, "Oh, this looks good. I'm gonna like steal this
Mhm.
little style you did." So it's a mixed reception. It's pretty funny. Okay, sorry.
I mean, I think you're very good. No, I think you're a very good painter. I remember I posted like a TikTok. They did really well, surprisingly. It was like we were playing Warhammer, and I had 2 figures like making out, and a lot of the responses were like, "Those look really good." Like, "Oh, I never thought to put a gun that way." And after a while, I was like, "Shit, I should plug my boy." And then you were like, "It's me," and then we had to keep playing it. So you got some good painting skills.
What was really funny? It gave me. I'm sorry, I know I'm taking the limelight away
No,
from me.
keep going.
I talk on the podcast when I played Warhammer at the Furry.
No, please go into it while I blow my nose off screen.
Okay, so long story short, I'm gonna keep this very quick. I went to my local game store, and there was this guy who I was looking to play Warhammer with other people because I usually only play with friend of the show Kevin. So I was like, let me play with some random people. And local hobby stores 9 times out of 10 they always have a Discord. So I joined their Discord, and I'm like, hey, anyone trying to get a game? This person messages me. He's like, yeah, let's get a game. And then another person messages me like, hey, you trying to get a game on another day? I'm like, cool, yeah, let's do it on another day. Go into the shop to play the person A, and then as soon as I go to the shop, person B shows up.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a big boy. I get it. I like to eat. I'm fat. This dude is built like comic book guy.
Yeah.
I say that I have to mention I'm a big boy because I get it. Like, oh, you're gonna body shame this and that. Fat people could call other fat people fat. Right?
We're talking about our people. You can use the F word. We can use the F word. You cannot use the word F. You can't. Even if you say it with a PH, no. Sorry, that doesn't work.
So this guy's built like comic book guy. And he's like, his outfit kind of reflects that too. And I'm like, bro, you're really wearing that outside, And so he comes up to me. Again, I'm giving you a quick version of this. Comes up to me and he's like, you're going to be number 52. He says some absurd number like that. I look at him and I like my first thought was like, like, "This dude gonna fucking kill me?" Like, I'm like, "Fuck you, dude! Like, what the fuck you talking?" Like me personally, like I
Mhm,
am, I usually between my girlfriend and I usually like to give people the benefit of the doubt, but I quickly went on the
mhm,
defense. She wasn't there to counter me out, so I I reverted back to high school. Lou, it's like I'll drop a motherfucker if I need to, and I was like, "What the fuck is this dude talking about?" Like, and then I was like, "What do you?" And I say more calmly, I'm like, what do you mean?" He's like, "You're gonna be like my 52nd consecutive win." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, yeah, whatever. I don't give a shit." And then that told me everything I needed to know about this dude. I was like, "He's a piece of
mhm,
shit. I'm not gonna have fun playing with him. I'm gonna play with him anyways. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. You know." And
mhm,
so flash forward to the day I play him. I show up a bit late because I had to do some stuff for this new job that I'm gonna be getting, and he was being cool about it. And the thing about Warhammer, I love Warhammer. It's a fun game. But no, this is what turned off Noah, and this is what turns off a lot of people, is that there are so many fucking rules to that game. To the point where it's like it's unnecessarily complicated. But
mhm,
once you it's kind of like I kind of compare like playing Warhammer to like playing like Elden Ring or something. Once you get over that hump, it's like, oh, everything starts to click a little bit. But getting over that hump is a
mhm,
little bit of a journey. So that's why I don't like fault people for dropping the game or like just being like I don't want to play this. Anyways, that's important because I have two armies and I don't necessarily fully know how to play both of them. I know how to play them like 80 to 70% of the way. So I'm playing, and then I'm asking him, like, "Hey, man, what does this mean? What does that mean?" And he's like, "I told you this like 3 times already." And mind you, one game takes like 2 to 3 hours. So I'm like,
mhm,
"I'm sorry, I don't fucking remember what I asked you like 30 minutes ago." And so he's just giving me all this shit, and then like he's getting mad at me because like my characters have certain powers that contradict his characters, and he's like, "Let me look at your
mhm.
stats. I don't believe it." Getting mad at me that my characters are somehow living longer than they should have lived, and then he's just giving me all this shit. And then at the end of the game, he was like, "I'm surprised you didn't use this power. I wasn't gonna help you because I was playing against you." And I'm like, "Motherfucker, if you knew I was like handicapping myself, why didn't you say
Mhm,
something?" And so then, also too with Warhammer, you have to set up a lot of terrain because it's
mhm.
simulating like a real life war, real life quotations.
Yeah, like you have to set up the battlefield.
Yeah, you have to set up the battlefield. And as like when I had got there, I helped him set up the board. And then
Mhm,
like as soon as the game ends, it's usually it's good sportsmanship to be like, "Hey, let's clean up this board." And then we'll go our separate ways. We're cleaning up the board. He puts one thing away and he's like, "I have to go. Can you do this by yourself?" And then fucking leaves. And so yeah, he just left and then left me to clean up the whole board. And after that day, I was like, "I'm never playing this motherfucker again." I don't remember how I got here. I just now I'm mad.
the thing about game stores is that you have to even the employees have to work really hard to like foster a good environment because that's how you bring repeat customers. And I think it can suck that like I'm sure that guy is gonna play with a bunch of newbies, and the newbies are gonna be like, "Oh, is this what Warhammer is like? Fuck this game,"
But
and then give up.
fun thing too is that like I even told him I was like, "Hey, I usually play with my friend and we kind of play like a little fast and loose with the rules." And he was like,
Mhm.
"It probably wasn't the best idea that one of your first real games is against me." That just reminded me of that. And I'm like, "Fuck."
Let me tell you, if he had said that to me, I would have been like, honestly, you can play with yourself. I'm gonna go home. See you
That's what
later.
that's what that's
I
what my
don't want
girlfriend
to
was
deal with
telling
that.
me. She was
I
like, "You should
don't
have
want to
just
deal with that.
left." And I was like, "I should have, but I didn't want to be mean."
Mhm. It's okay to be mean to people that are mean to
True.
you.
True.
I mean, a comic book guy, he deserves it.
Yeah.
That's my least favorite Simpsons character. If I'm all honest, like top 25 characters I dislike, he is at least number 3.
Who's number 1
At
on that
least.
list?
Oh my gosh. I'm gonna have to say Abe Simpson.
Grandpa?
Yeah.
Why? I love Grandpa. He's so cool.
He's a great grandfather. He's a terrible father.
There was one of the more
He's
recent episodes. It found out that like he was a PI.
mhm.
I didn't watch it, but I read an article on it that he was a PI and he got some shit on Mr. Burns, and because of that, that's how Homer has his job. Because he was like, "You're gonna give my son a job, and you're never gonna fire him, or else I'm gonna release what I have on you."
Which is just the thing about Simpsons, because these characters can never age. It's this weird thing where I'm just like, just let them fucking age. Let them age.
That's the whole thing with
Because he's been
cartoons.
fired. He's been fired several times from the plant, and also, but one thing that's been consistent is that even though Abe does love and try to help Homer, he fucks him over a lot. He doesn't have a positive reinforcement. He tore up letters from his mom so that Homer never got letters from his mom.
Oh damn! I
And there's
forgot
a lot
about
of
that.
fucked up stuff. There's a lot of fucked up stuff. And I love Grandpa. He's a great grandpa. Not a good dad. That's my number one. And it's because he's my number one spot hatred because I love him so much and I want better for him. But anyways,
So Wicked.
yeah, Wicked. That's easy. Yeah, to start. I had a lot of fun with Wicked.
I thought it was really good.
I think you should see it, and I'm surprised you had no interest because we actually had a whole conversation at D&D that you didn't really have any interest because I know you like musicals.
Oh yeah, I do.
And this is like, yeah, I would put this. I feel like Wicked is like one of the greats that you would stand like modern greats that you put up like next to Hamilton or something, or like one of the popular ones.
Here's the thing, all right? Elizabeth, my girlfriend, is my number one fucking op. Love her, but then there's certain times I can't fucking stand her.
That's what they say. Your girlfriend should be your number one op.
She's twisting the story, and it's just because she knows how I act, and she knows me really well. So she tells the story in a way that's like, oh yeah, of course, that's something Luis would fucking do.
Yeah, I believed her when she told us the story.
This dumbass woman approaches me before. Okay, for the listeners, I love my girlfriend. I love her wholeheartedly. I'm saying this out of love. Okay. You'll get if you have been with someone as long as I have, you understand. It's all coming out of love. No malicious intent or anything. But also it's just important for the listeners to know. I have birthday plans made now. Okay, this is before I had birthday plans made. My birthday's in January, so we were starting to cook up an idea come November, like November, late October. We were like, okay, my birthday's approaching. What are we gonna do? So we were flinging ideas back and forth. For her birthday, I bought her tickets to go see Hamilton at the Pantasia Theater here in LA.
Because you guys love Hamilton.
Yeah, she is a way bigger Hamilton fan than I am, but I really like it a lot too. And so I was like, let's go do this. We'll go watch it. It was fun. The theater was a lot of fun, and I was like, oh, this is dope as fuck. I'd come back here, like pay some. It's not too expensive, but it's not cheap at the same time. Pay some decent money, get a Broadway show. I'd 100% do it again. She's like, yo, there's all these musicals going on. There's Wicked, there's this and that. I'm like, oh, Wicked, the movie's coming out. That'd be cool to watch it. And she's like, yeah, that would be cool, huh? And so then, flash forward to when we were planning my birthday. And then she was like, hey, do you want to go see Wicked on your birthday? And I'm like, no. I do not want to go see Wicked on my birthday. That's like a random ass, like that's something like that's like a fancy date. That's not birthday activity for me. And she was like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "I just don't have it." And then she got defensive, so I got defensive, and so she was like, "What do you mean you don't want to go see Wicked on your birthday?" And I'm like, "I don't want to go see Wicked on my birthday. I don't have any interest in that." And she was like, "Oh, but you want?" And it bled into a fucking argument, stupid argument, nothing crazy. But yeah, so that's the real story of what happened. And then we got into this whole thing again. She was like, I always go to the stupid shit you want to go to. And she brings up the fucking Sonic Symphony as if she didn't have fun. And when she was looking around and wasn't enjoying seeing all these fucking furries and shit like rock out. Right? Anyways. And so then I told her, I was like, fine, let's go see Wicked. And she was like, no, I want to go see Wicked now. I'm like, what? All right, now we're here. Where do we go from here now?
Oh, and also, it was Wicked for your birthday. You already have birthday plans.
This is what she can't fucking wrap her monkey brain around, is that like I did not want to do that for my birthday.
Also, isn't your birthday in like January?
Yeah, but they're still gonna be shown for a little while.
Is it? I don't know. I don't know. That's just funny though. I love that. Yeah. Now I feel weird talking about Wicked. Everyone should go see Wicked. It's a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it.
I know they're breaking it up in 2 parts, and I was going back to that. Why I haven't seen the movie is because this is more of an Elizabeth thing than it is a Louis thing. And I told her, I was like, "Yo, let's go watch it." And she was like, "They're breaking it up in 2 parts. I'll just watch part 2 and then like binge 1 right before, like what I did with Gladiator right now." She was like, "I want to watch 1 and then just go straight into 2." I'm like, "Okay, that's fair." Because it is kind of a money grab if you kind of think about it. Like you can.
The thing is, because I've read the book and I've actually seen the musical way long time ago, and I was kind of I was okay with two parts for this just because the book is incredibly long, like a Game of Thrones type of thing. It's just that like a lot of things happen,
Uh-huh.
so splitting it up into two parts makes sense to me because it's just a lot of shit happens. Because not only does it have its own origin story, it also covers like part of the Wizard of Oz, and it's a lot of stuff. It's a very interesting book. The prose is a little dry, but I enjoy the world. I would say if you're a Wicked fan and you're invested in the world created, pick up the book. If you're just like, I like the music, I enjoy it, like casually, I wouldn't. I don't know if I'd advise to pick up the book, but I think Wicked's a lot of fun. I think you should see it. I
Is
mean,
is it
did you ever find
canon?
a
Is it canon to the James Franco Oz?
um? I haven't. No, I don't.
You like
I forgot about that
do
movie.
you
It took
like
me a
my
second. I was
Noah
like, what?
question?
I
This is a
did. I
Noah
don't know why
question
it's a Noah
because
question.
this is
How's
some
that a
stupid
Noah
shit you would
question?
say. But like, is this canon to the 2024 Craven the Hunter when you're talking about like Loki or some shit? Like,
Oh, are you talking about how I'm watching Craven? I'm 100% watching
okay, sorry.
Craven.
Let's stay on track. Let's stay on track. Sorry, I get that. That's on me. That's on me. Keep going. Keep going.
No, but when I watch Craven, let me tell you, at the end of the movie, Elphaba singing, "Ah," and then Loki opens the portal, and he's
And
just
she
like,
flies in
Elphaba, I
with
need
her
you.
broom like.
Yeah, I need you and your magic, Elphaba. It's like, no, call me the Wicked, Part One. And then they fly off.
No, she looks though. She looks at the cameras like, and I'm
Yeah.
feeling pretty wicked. And it's
Oh yeah, and then she flies away. But no, it's a fun time. I went with some cousins, and funny enough, the most memorable part of the movie is something that happened after. Like I posted a picture. My Instagram story, like the day was like me in a witch hat. I was like, oh, I'm gonna go see Gladiator,
you know
like as a
Elizabeth actually
joke.
believed you too, and she's like, he's gonna go see Gladiator. I'm like, are you fucking dumb? He's seeing Wicked.
That's funny because my brother he messaged me. He's like, if you're going to see Gladiator, why are you wearing a hat like that? And I was like, because they're all godless pagans, brother. And then he just gave me like a rolling eye
please,
emoji.
please tell me you've talked to him about Drake.
I keep forgetting. I'm
For
sorry.
the listeners, here's a quick cliff note. Noah's
Yeah.
brother in the Great Kendrick Drake War, is Team Drake. He's always been Team Drake.
He chose Aubrey.
That's his boy, right? I respect it. It doesn't mean I gotta like it though. And so,
Hmm.
as you guys may or may not know, Drake is suing Universal Music because of he's accusing them of inflating Kendrick's numbers. And
Hmm.
so, as soon as that happened, I immediately text Noah, and I'm like, "Bro, you gotta tell your brother, you gotta ask your brother what he thinks about this for me, please." And he fucking keeps forgetting, and I need to know.
You know what? He's around the house today. I'll ask him today. But that's just so funny to me because it's like it's such a white person thing to do. You're like, I'm gonna sue you. Like,
I
what the
mean,
fuck are you doing,
he's basically a
Aubrey?
white person. When
What did
like the
Kendrick
entire black
say?
music community bands together and says, "Nope, you can't say it. You're not one of us." That
Yeah.
says something.
Oh my god. Like, I don't. Maybe Spotify and other music groups they do inflate numbers, they do hype up stuff. But the thing about Kendrick's songs is that
They're
like
good.
you saw it everywhere. No, I mean yes, but you saw it everywhere. You saw it at weddings. You saw people posting it at clubs. Like it was played everywhere.
It
So
was literally
inflation or
like an
not,
iconic
yeah,
moment in pop culture history.
yeah. And let me tell you, at the Super Bowl, I don't know his set list, but if Kendrick gets
I
everyone to
do.
call him a certified pedophile, come fuck him up. If he does that, it would be insane. A whole Super Bowl crowd calling Drake a pedophile would be great. I need it.
Did you see that Drake announced the tour like the day of the Super Bowl?
Did he?
Yeah, I saw that on TikTok.
Like,
TikTok's a grain of salt.
oh, I don't know why Drake would do that. I'm not sure why. It just feels desperate. Like, what are you like, Aubrey? What are you doing?
Okay, so Wicked. Do you like the Wicked?
Wicked. Ah! I'm gonna start singing everywhere I go now.
We're like
Um,
halfway into the podcast and we've barely even talked about anything.
barely even talking about Wicked. It's funny whenever just off tangent again. Whenever Lewis is like, "Oh, I don't have much planned for this D&D session," I always say like, "We will ramble on. Do not worry. We'll get stuck at like a shopkeeper for like 5 minutes doing some bullshit.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to plan much. We will find a way to fill the space. do not worry. Same thing with this podcast. We're like, what are we going to talk about? And I'm just like, I don't know. But in the back of my head, I'm just like, you and I will ramble on about something. We don't have to worry too much about it. But Wicked is very good. I highly suggest it for everyone.
How many brooms out of 10 do you give it? Like flying brooms. Are there flying monkeys in this?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. How many Wicked brooms do you give it though, out of 10?
I give it 8 out of 10 Wicked brooms.
Ooh, okay. That's a pretty good Noah review right there.
It is a really good Noah review. Simply because there's I think there's an interesting trend in fantasy writing where it's like women and you feel too much, but her feelings are tied to her powers. But so it's okay to feel so much. But other times I'm just like, I don't know, lock your shit in. I don't know what to tell you. Like there's a moment where there's a flight or fight moment. I'm just like, if you just calm down and play the situation smart, then you can get everything you want. But she's like, no, fuck you guys. I'll do what I want. And I'm just like, I get why you're making that choice, but the smarter thing would have been to shut up and keep your head down and just try to figure this shit out. But at the same time, that's not the character. That's lots of characters are like impulsive and gaudy. So I understand it. But like, this is me as an outside person being like, you know what? I think I might have I think I would have calmed down and then like done some spy shit. But then again, in the heat of battle, who could say I could act rationally? You know what I mean? It's like you think rationally when you're watching something, but if you're in the moment, you probably wouldn't be. That was like my conflict. But I do notice that is a trend in a lot of like female protagonists, like their powers tied to their emotions. And I think I'm not clever enough to discuss what that might mean in relation to like society and feminism. But I think that's an interesting concept. Like usually when it's like a female protagonist, her abilities are tied to her emotions. Like Captain Marvel. I was watching, my sister and her husband are doing like a Marvel rewatch chronologically, and they had Captain Marvel on, and a big part of it was like, can you keep your emotions in check to fight me?
And then Captain Marvel you got like really good, then you go bad and good and bad and good. Are they watching are they watching the original Hulk?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're going through all like the timeline, and I don't know if that's included, but they watch that. But yeah, but there's a whole point where she like blasts him. She's like, "I don't gotta prove shit to you, dickhead." Like and I thought that was interesting. So I think female protagonists, there's always interesting stuff going on there. So I enjoyed it, but there's something else you wanted to talk about, wasn't there?
I was gonna talk about Batman. But I was gonna ask though, like how I was gonna ask about the movie. Was that Wonder Woman?
I'm trying to do her little belt, but yeah, Wonder Woman. Then a portal opens up and Gal Gadot comes out.
We must defend
like, I need
Israel.
We must
join the Israel army.
Everybody together, we can join Israel. Oh my god.
We say jokingly. We say jokingly.
From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. Yeah. Fuck Israel. But what were you gonna ask?
I was gonna ask. Okay, because I know all of this because of Elizabeth. Because Ariana Grande broke up a marriage during that movie, and then the dude was like, "Let's stay together," and she was like, "Nah, I just wanted some dick real quick." And so, like, how was she in this movie? Like, how was their chemistry? I'm very curious.
It's so funny because he plays a minor character that is in love with her, and she doesn't give him the time of day.
So it's literally the film.
Yeah, that's literally the film.
Here's the thing too. Ariana Grande just looks weird in this movie because she doesn't have like eyebrows, right?
She has like, she's blonde, so she has like blonde eyebrows.
Oh, okay, so that's light. Every time I see her, I'm like, this bitch don't got eyebrows. Like, what the fuck? And it just throws me off every time, you know?
She has blonde eyebrows, so they like, and because she has like lighter skin, it kind of fades into her face from far away. So you're just like, it takes you a second to be like, what? But Ariana Grande is really good in it.
This is like her first like acting movie in a while, huh?
Yeah. The role of Glinda is very like operatic, but it's also very comedic. So she was actually really funny in it. I was like, oh yeah, she did sitcoms. Like, she'll be fine.
She did that Dan, what's his face? Fuck guy.
Dan Schneider. Yeah. Victorious. I remember Victorious. She did Disney Channel stuff. She was fine. And then Cynthia Eviro as Elphaba was really good. She's more of like a Broadway person. I think this is her first movie, as far as I know.
The
She
Wicked
did
girl,
really good.
the
Yeah,
Wicked.
the one who plays the
I,
Wicked girl.
I know she got all angry because she was like, they photoshopped the poster and this and that. And everyone was like, "Bro, what are you going on about?"
I did some research into that. According to the like Broadway like drama musical community, she's always kind of dramatic,
Yeah, she gives me those
and so
vibes. She gives me
yeah.
those vibes.
And I mean, every interview they're together, they're crying and holding hands, and people are like, "Oh, they're so dramatic," and I'm just like, "Y'all have never been a part of a musical cast. Musical people are just that dramatic.
Tell me, Noah, how's
They
it
are
like
just
being part of a musical cast? What's the process like?
um." It was fine. I really enjoyed it. I didn't think I'd get. This is such a long time ago. I didn't think I'd get like a speaking role. I was in I was in Oliver Twist in high school. This is my
Your claim to fame?
experience in music, my claim to fame. And people were very dramatic. They were very emotional. Again, we were teenagers, but from what I hear, it's a trend that continues into adulthood. But so yeah, people are just dramatic. But I thought they did really good. Some of the songs were a bit forgettable, but a lot of
Did
them
they do the popular
were
one? Like, I
catchy.
wanna be
Yeah,
popular. Na-na-na-na,
that was fun.
na-na-na-na, na-na-na. Okay, keep going.
Uh, yeah, I feel like half those songs are known because they've been on TikTok for like the past 2 months,
Mhm.
bothering everyone.
I
But no,
mean,
it
when you
was a
got
lot
that
of
fucking kind of
fun.
money to push it as much as you did.
Shit. Oh my gosh, yeah. It was really good though. I really enjoyed it. I have said that several times just because I feel like there's a lot of things you could talk about with this film about how it kind of goes into sort of politics about race identity and who deserves rights and fear mongering. And a big part of it is like if you want to rule and keep people calm, you find a common enemy and pull them together. And I think that's a very basic but very used thing in real world. And as much as it's covered in the musical, it's very much like politics for dummies. And I don't
Mm.
mean that in a bad way. I mean that in like a surface level way. Like how when people ask about Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I say like, "Oh yeah, that's racism for dummies." Because it's like it touches on like race inequality and like, "Oh, Sam Wilson, his sister can't get alone."
And
And
now
this
he's bad
and different
again in the new movie. Took a lane, Bucky.
Bucky. But it's like it's very much like basic introduction to something.
Mm.
So I don't mean it in like a negative connotation, but it's like blank for dummies, like racism for dummies. And this is like class inequality and fear mongering for dummies. So I think if you really liked those ideals in the show about like class and race inequality, about fear mongering, about fascism in a sense, I definitely would say check out the book because the book dives way more into it. It's way more political. But
But that was like
yeah,
at the
I think
cusp
those
of
things
like
are
World War
interesting.
II, wasn't it? Or like fresh out of World War II. It
Mm.
was like very close to World War II, is
Um,
what I'm trying to say.
yeah, the thing about this is a whole other topic that I'm not well versed in, but the original Oz books were written, and there is a lot of interpretations about how they kind of reflect the politics of its time, because the Wonderful Wizard of Oz was done during like the 1900s, literally in the 1900s, like 124 years ago. So while there are points of it that is reflective of the American politics at the time, I'm not well versed enough to kind of bring that up. And Wicked was written in the 90s, I believe,
Okay.
because Wicked is like the untold truth of the Wicked Witch, and like
That makes
it's
sense because that's like during
mhm.
like the Bush era and like
Yes, it was definitely
Gulf War and
during the Bush
stuff.
era.
Okay.
19, I'm checking right now, 1995.
Okay. That make that checks out.
hmm So it is very interesting, and I like the concept of the Wizard of Oz simply because it's one of the true first like Americana fantasy stories.
Hmm.
Because if you look at a lot of fantasy, a lot of it is Eurocentric. Lord of the Rings, uh, Chronicles of Narnia, like a lot of Hansel and Gretel. Like
But you
so
know
many
what?
things are
If you
from.
watch Vox Machina, that's American made, baby. Ah!
What are they made out of? D&D. What is a lot of D&D based off of? Lord of the Rings.
But you know what? This was still American made.
Where is it animated?
That's a good question.
Oh, you mean I was about to say, not the animation, but the live play. Yeah, but Wizard of Oz is like one of the true Americana fantasies. And that's like really in front and subtextual in the text itself. So I think reinvigorating it and giving new perspectives on that framework through like more of a contemporary lens to today's ideas about fantasy and politics, such as in the works of Wicked, is so interesting. And I'm honestly gonna have to reread that book again because I lent it to my aunt, and I was just like, I kind of want to read this again because it's been such a long time. And I bought the sequel, Son of a Witch. I just haven't read it. It's one of my eye candy books that I keep on my bookshelf. But Wicked, yeah, I think the book's very interesting. I'm gonna have to revisit it.
I'm just gonna say this right now, it's because I've been holding back this joke. You look like the Rock meme right now. You know where he has the fanny pack. Because I'm just seeing the neck and the the necklace.
Shout out 49ers.
But you look like the Rock meme right now, where he's like leaning back.
Yeah,
You know,
that was a fun. I saw that. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. He has like a little fro.
yeah, it was like the 90s
Yeah.
or 80s, whatever the fuck it was.
The Rock is back in wrestling right now. He's being like a heel right now, isn't he?
Yes and no. So Rock is he kind of it's so funny. Okay, so on the business, like the actual business side, he's one of like the heads now, and he's like in charge of making sure the plot moves forward. But in like the world of WWE, like the actual performance, he's like they call him the final boss, and he just kind of like comes up, whoops some ass, and leaves. But he hasn't really done anything since WrestleMania. So it's funny because this has happened like once or twice already, and people just kind of make fun of him because of it. It's just like, bro, you just want to be in the limelight. He will,
Yeah.
like, they'll have like Cody Rhodes, which is like, for those unaware, he's the champion right now, the undisputed champ. And they'll have someone like Roman Reigns, which is like one of the former champs. I'm making this scenario up, but there's scenarios very close. They're like talking shit to each other in the ring. They're like, "Fuck you, I'm gonna beat your ass come Sunday. Fuck you, I'm gonna beat your ass come Sunday." And then all their boys come in. They're like, "Nah, fuck you." Rah, 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 rah. And then out of nowhere, they play the Rock theme. Dun, he walks in. He walks at the entrance of of the giant screen. He'll look at everyone. "I'll see you all Sunday." Walks away. I'm like, bro, what the fuck? Like, why are you there? Like, you added nothing.
He just wants to be there.
And there are times too where like he will literally just walk up, look at everyone, and he's like, I'm nodding my head for viewers, and then just walk away. And I'm like, all right, like, yeah, the Rock's here. Like, I don't give a fuck about you. I want to see these other guys' stories play out.
We were driving home once and you gave me like a whole spiel about wrestling and culture. This sounds like one of the things where like he and maybe some like executives want to keep pushing him.
Oh, it's 100% him.
Fans,
it is 110% him.
Yeah, it's with him. And the fans are just like, why are you here? Why are you here? Just like start yelling, like, don't you have to do more interviews about Red One and how inspired by Oppenheimer you were? Like, I don't know why you're here. Gonna change the game.
You know, here's the thing.
Did you still hear Red One?
I never saw it. No, I know it flopped. But here's the thing: if I ever needed a PR publicist, I don't care how much he costs. I'm hiring The Rock. Because good or bad, people are gonna meme it, and I'm gonna get a lot of eyes on it because of that.
So you just want the attention?
Yeah, and The Rock will give me that because he'll be like, "This is the best thing ever made." Like he's gonna glaze it up so much, and that's all. That's what we need.
Do you want to know the budget for Red One? His film.
200
to 250 million.
$250 million. How much was the budget?
Do you know how much? I don't. I'll look it up. But you know how much he made?
How much?
151 million.
So he made like almost half. No, yeah, he made a little bit less than half of.
Yeah,
half of the money went straight to The Rock.
Well, that's what happens when you take a film that was made for Amazon Prime and then push it over to the theatrical release. I don't know why he did that. The budget for Oppenheimer was 100 million, and its ending box office was 976.8 million.
Damn.
So it made at least like 700 million more, give or take. So that turned a profit. Shout out to our boy Christopher Nolan. He can do no wrong, I think. Um, I don't know. I've
I
seen
didn't really
very.
care
I
for
feel like I
Oppenheimer. I thought it was a lot longer than it
you
needed
didn't
to
care.
be. And it was a
I
shame
heard
because I actually liked, what was that Robert Pattinson one where it's like, we're going back in time. Tenet. I liked Tenet. A lot of people didn't like Tenet. I actually liked Tenet a
Oh, they're
lot.
talking about Inception.
Close. Oh, that is a Nolan movie too, huh?
It's it's funny. I was with neutral party to this podcast, Diego, my father. He was telling me about stuff, and he was like, "Oh, you gotta watch Tenet. It's really good." And I'm just like, "What is it? What is it? Like, what is it about?" He's like, "Oh, I have no idea, but it's really good.
It's
It's
like,
really good. I couldn't explain it to you at all, but it's really good." I was like, "Okay,
I saw it during
okay."
lockdown at a drive-in theater. That's probably a big reason
Mhm.
why I liked it too, because I was like, oh, I'm going to see a movie again. But it's like, it's Robert Pattinson and some other random
Oh,
dude. And the random dude is more of like the lead. Robert Pattinson's like the second,
mhm,
is the B character. And it's
mhm.
like, we're part of this secret organization, blah 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 blah, and we can like control time. So when you're in the other dimension, time moves backwards. So let's say like you shoot, like you gotta like move backwards, and you have to navigate certain ways, and it's like you gotta prevent crimes, and it's honestly, I don't even remember what the movie was about. I just remember thinking it was really fucking trippy.
Oh, the one thing I remember him saying is that like there's objects from the future appearing in the past, and they have to figure out why.
Yeah, and then there's one
That's the one thing I
thing.
remember.
Do you care for a spoiler? That movie's been out for like 4
I
years.
don't care.
Okay.
I'm gonna forget it. You know I'm gonna forget
Oh,
it. Just
so
go.
so what had happens is that the whole movie, the main guy is talking to Robert Pattinson, and it's kind of like, yo, how do I know you? Like, and he was like, oh yeah, this dude, and Robert Pattinson's like, yo, this dope ass dude trained me, fucking sick. This guy's cool, this and that, and he's being super vague the entire movie. Flash forward to like the end of the movie, Robert Pattinson dies, saving him, or something like that. I forget what happens, and then
Mhm.
he like, the giant fight scene comes out, and he sees Robert Pattinson from the past, well, from the future, come in, and like, and then the time start, like, it repeats itself, and he looks at him.
He's his own teacher.
Yeah, and
He's teaching that guy.
he looks at him. He was like, hey, he was like, don't tell me anything. I'm pretty sure you and I are gonna get along just well. And he dips out, and I'm like, oh, that was cool. But like that payoff, I'm making it a lot stupider than it needs to be. But that movie is also really complicated. It doesn't need to be that complicated. But good movie. I liked it. Maybe I should go watch it again.
Instead, what if you watched Red One? You see,
Uh,
in Red One, the MORA, the Mythical Oversight and Restoration Authority, is a clandestine multicultural military organization that oversees and protects a secret peace treaty between mythological creatures and humanity. Callum Drift, commander of ELF, Enforcement Logistics Fortification, head of Santa Security Detail request.
you want to know something that Elizabeth's
Oh my
called like right
god.
off the bat? Because Chris Evans in the trailer, they're like, "Oh, his name is Jack," and she's like, "Oh, Jack Frost."
Now I'm looking this up. I have the wiki up. I'm gonna be looking at it. Um, his name's Jack O'Malley, a mercenary black hat hacker who claims to be able to find anything in the world. Oh,
You
this
know what's
is
the fucked up part is that they got J. Jonah Jameson in it, and they got Chris Evans. So I'm like, you got two really good actors in this movie.
this is the paycheck.
Yeah.
This is a paycheck movie. I am reading this, and this is an insane plot.
Hit me with the cliff notes.
This is okay. There you go.
That was nasty.
That was a cliff note. Yeah, it was bad.
Okay, so really quick, I've been wanting to tell you this.
Mhm.
So for the viewers, Noah and I and our friends, we link up every so often and play Magic, and I have all the Fallout Magic commander decks, and one of the commander decks is a dog. It's the commander with a dog on it. I forget what colors it is, but the commander ability for this deck, I mean for this guy, is that every time you draw him, you get to like sacrifice a handful of cards, and you get to choose one card and like play it from your graveyard. And I have this card right here, which will blend perfectly with it, and I am excited for it. It's called the Elixir of Immortality, and it's a Fallout themed.
Mhm.
You kind of see it,
Yeah, you can see it. Yeah, you can see
yeah.
it.
And it's called the Elixir of Immortality, and this card right here, it's an artifact card. which is one of the cards
Mhm.
I can draw from my graveyard. It says you gain 5 life and then shuffle the elixir of immortality and your graveyard into their owner's hands. So that means I can just like keep recycling cards every time I play this
Mhm.
card, and I'm really excited about it with my dog
Yeah, that's great.
deck.
That's cool. Anyways, Red one. Think about Red one. That's gonna become my new. Jack and Callum have to break into Krampus's lair, but are captured. Oh my gosh, this is. I'm a little bit obsessed. Um, no, I love that for you. I love that you keep getting new decks. I've been a little insular with my decks. I've been thinking of building a Goblin one,
I
but
think
all
you
the
should do
Goblin
this.
cards.
Just
Go
wait
ahead, tell me.
until the Spider-Man deck. Let me keep talking. I'm gonna do some light research. This is dropping.
The thing about Magic is that if you eat your opponent's cards, they can't play them anymore. So my word of advice right now is that if you're in a Magic game and someone's fucking you up, you say, "Oh, can I see that card? I want to read its effects," and they hand it to you. Take out the sleeve, just start. And the thing with when you eat it, you have to not actually eat it. You have to eat it like a muppet. So you're actually tearing it apart and throwing it in pieces. And you're like, "Rah, rah, 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 rah." So that's how you eat cards. And that's what I tried to do the other day, but I did get stabbed slightly. So I decided to not do that anymore. But this is my advice to everyone that's watching this: just start eating a motherfucker's cards. And honestly,
Oh,
trying to eat people's things is helpful
there's no
and
date on it
good.
yet.
Yeah, there's no date on it.
Yeah.
That was horrible. How dare you make me talk by myself for like 30 seconds?
All right, no, absolute Batman. We got like 10 minutes. Let's go.
All right.
Issue
Fun
1.
fact. All right. If you like DC comics and you're interested, but you've never done anything, there's a brand new alternate history universe where they're starting from scratch. You have
Like the
alternate
new
Bat,
52.
yeah, like the new 52. We have absolute Batman, where Batman doesn't have money and he has to work from the ground up. We have absolute Superman, where he was born and raised
Where
on
he's a
Krypton,
documented
aka
citizen.
I was about to say, AKA, he just stole Supergirl's backstory and Wonder Woman, where there's no Paradise Island and she was born in hell. And I was joking with friend of the pod, my friend Jake, we were talking about it, and I was just like, a hot, tall, buff woman with a giant anime sword who rides on a horse made of death that shoots magic. They made this for you, Jake. And he was just like, "Don't tease me like this." And I'm just like, "Yeah,
That
I
you
know."
just described fucking. I've never watched the anime, but that's Guts from Berserk. That's
Is
literally
Wonder Woman
Guts.
does Guts from Berserk?
Just
Needs to find her twink. Her twink will be Steve Trevor.
yeah, exactly. And then who's gonna be the Griffin? Like who would that be then? Like
Which one is Griffin?
that's the white one. That's the twink. Yeah,
Oh, that's the twink. That's
that's
who
the
I
one who
meant. That's
betrays.
Steve Trevor. I've never read Guts, but I've heard really good things about it.
I have two.
That's okay?
We're in the same
Back
boat.
to, back to See, absolute. So brand new universe, brand new characters. You and I both read Absolute Batman number
And I
one.
loved it.
Uh, I loved it too. Let's talk about it. What's one of the things that most most caught your attention about this new iteration of Batman?
I liked how they made him like a working class, and it's like
Hmm.
he's not a rich boy. He's just a
Hmm.
smart kid. Literally that he's just a smart kid off the streets,
Hmm.
and he loves his city. And like I love because like when you think of like modern day Batman, it's like he has all his money, and his money is what gives him his connection. It's like he knows the fucking plumbers who
Hmm.
know this guy, who knows that guy, because of money.
Hmm.
And then like, oh yeah, rich billionaire makes sense. Don't really think about it too much. This one, it's like the reason why he knows the intricates in and out of the city is because he did an internship with the Gotham City
Hmm.
Plumbing Department, and then now he's a manager at
Hmm.
the Gotham City construction site. This and that, like he knows the city so well because he literally works for the
Hmm.
city, and he works for all these specific departments. And I like how like it's like they look at they break it down to where it's like it's actually kind of believable in this sense where it's like yeah like
Hmm.
I'm saying this like half jokingly, like I can do that. Noah can do that, like, and that would be
Hmm.
perfectly like no one would bat an eye. They'd be like, yeah, this dude just wants to know how the city works. He's a really good city worker. And I was like, fuck, that is so good. Like I loved it.
Um, I'm reading off a Games Resource interview with the writer Scott Snyder. He says it's exciting to me because he comes up in this universe without any resources. He comes from a blue collar, grows up in crime alley. He's friends with a lot of characters who are his villains in the main universe. He's a guy in the street. He's somebody who works different jobs as a civil engineer, working in power plants and sewers. They wanted him to feel like a part of the city, like he's a member of the common folk just trying to keep shit together. And I think that's very interesting because traditional Batman, usually he leaves. He goes off to learn his skills. He travels the world. He's detached. There's an detachment from Bruce, which I feel like is part of the Batman persona. Like Bruce Wayne detaches so Batman can develop and grow. But in this one, Batman is representative of the working class. He's representative of the city, not just his own trauma, but the generational trauma that resides in like just the people of Gotham. And it's like the culmination of that emotion kind of rising into one idyllic form. And he's taking that and he's trying to make a difference. And that's just so interesting because at the end of the day, he is Batman. He holds his trauma in his heart and he says, never again will anyone have to deal with this. And he goes forth and tries to stop it. But like the way he was developed, the way he knows, the way he moves is just different and unique to this version of Batman. And it's really cool to see him like blue collar Batman.
And I fucking loved it. And going back to the thing too, like, um, he's going to like Killer Croc's gym, and he's working out, and like Killer Croc is selling like exotic pets, like alligators, fucking lizards and shit. And they're just boys. There's like little off lines like, hey, you gonna go to fucking Penguin's barbecue tonight? And he's like, nah, I'm busy. I'm like, oh shit. And just stuff like that. He's like, hey, Selena's in town. I don't want to talk to her today. And I'm like, oh my god, like you're friends with the fucking Riddler, and like they're not even like Penguin or the Riddler or anyone yet. Like and it's one of those things too. Like I don't know, are they gonna become the Penguin? Are they gonna become the Riddler? Is someone else gonna take on that mantle? Like, and just all that shit they do so fucking good.
I think it is interesting. You can kind of rewrite all these characters because this new Absolute Universe, this isn't really a spoiler. This is like a precursor. It was created by Darkseid in a way. Like he kind of
there was a whole like
tinker,
a whole thing building up to that, right? I didn't read any of that, so please give me a cliff notes on
it. Okay. During like this event, he finds like this it's founded on like Darkseid energy. It's this thing where like he kind of formed it into like a world he could control, and because of that a lot of heroes aren't around. So Killer Croc isn't going to be a big crocodile, he's just going to be a guy. Like Bruce Wayne isn't going to be a thing. Superman isn't even here. He's like, Superman, stay on your planet. Wonder Woman, I'm getting into the Amazon, sending you to hell. So it's very much a world that's constrained in like these big laws, like you cannot be special, you cannot matter. Like there's barely any metahumans. And I think these three, like the Trinity being the first ever like heroes that are public that are seen, is like a huge thing. And it is also very funny that like Darkseid tries to create a world he control, and still then fucking Clark, Diana, and Bruce are still fucking up his shit. Like we're still here. You try to get rid of us, we're still here. So it's a world
how this is going to bleed into like the main one, the main D, because it feels like that's inevitable.
Yeah, I hope it doesn't for a while. Yeah, I mean it'd be fine if it's just on its own forever. I mean, because maybe a Flash will eventually show up and be like, "What's this?"
I'm Ezra Miller, and this is Grant Gust.
I'm Ezra Miller.
We're gonna go terrorize Hawaii.
We're gonna go Hawaii. Hey, don't ever say Grant Gustin would be a part of that, my man, my boy. But no, it's very interesting. I really enjoy the action. This version of Batman is a fucking tank.
Yeah,
it's very reminiscent of Frank Miller's Batman, who was just like this big beefy guy.
But he's not.
So it feels a very. Say that again. I'm sorry.
Except he's not 100 years old.
Yeah, he's not 100 years old. It's just a lot of bulk. And the first issue's out today. Issue 2 is also out, but you can grab issue 1. Highly recommend it, especially if you've never read anything about comics. You don't have to know about lore. You don't have to know about even the stuff I told you about Darkseid. You don't have to know.
I didn't even know.
You don't have to know any of that. Yeah, you can just grab the issue and read it, enjoy it. I would also say that for Wonder Woman, I highly recommend Wonder Woman. It's better than the current mainline Wonder Woman book that's coming out. I've touched upon that in several episodes we've talked about. And I haven't read Absolute Superman, but I've also heard a lot of really good things about that too.
one of the things I really did appreciate is that like Alfred is
Mhm,
like they lean into like his spy origins. He's like some like John
mhm.
Wick assassin esque guy, and he's like, I'm gonna kill Bruce. Don't worry about it. And then Batman just beats the fuck out of him, and I was like, oh my god, this is so great. And what one of the
One of
things I'll go
mhm.
for it.
I was about to say one of my favorite interactions with that is that he has like this weird gun that he tries to shoot him with, and Bruce takes it, and then he has the gun back, and he's about to shoot him. He's like, "Oh shit, killed by my own gun!" But instead of the gun shooting out bullets, it shoots out little
Uh
batarangs,
huh.
and it just like pierces him. He's like, "Ah, you fucked up my gun!" And he was like more mad that Bruce fucked with his gun than like he was almost killed, and that was just so funny.
One of my favorite things that I enjoyed is because the Joker is one of my favorite characters. I love the Joker,
Mhm,
and I think he is like the perfect counterpart to Batman. And it's like Batman is also one of my favorite characters. So I
mhm,
love what they did with the Joker in the sense where he's like some fucking he's essentially like Lex Luthor. They kind of like build up
mhm,
that him like that Alfred was hunting him down the entire time. As soon as Alfred was about to kill him, whatever organization he
mhm.
worked for, which is probably like the Court of Owls or something adjacent to that,
Oh,
he was like, "Yo, we got go to Gotham. Fuck off. That mission's not important anymore." And it's like, yeah,
mhm,
the Joker is like this millionaire dude who's like trained by like the League of Assassins, and he killed them. And I'm like,
mhm,
damn, I'm excited to see what they do with this Joker, especially like how this
mhm,
Batman is gonna interact with him.
mhm. More often than not, the Joker is like the antithesis to Batman, like the total opposite, the polar opposite. So making Batman like this working class hero that's trying to defend the comic folk, and then making the Joker like a rich sociopath that has gotten everything he wants and is bored and just wants to create chaos. Like that kind of thing works really well, especially when opposing Batman. So yeah, that's a fun little thing that they did there.
And like I text I texted Noah
Mhm,
this too when I read it. It's another the best thing I could compare all not ultimate Absolute Batman to is Ultimate Spider-Man, because it's like
mhm,
they changed so much of what makes Batman Batman, but at the same time they keep those core components of what makes him so compelling.
mhm.
Like slight spoiler, a big spoiler actually. They kill his
No, don't do
dad.
it.
They kill his dad, but they leave his mom alive. And
Mhm,
that's some like Ultimate Spider-Man shit where it's like they instead of killing Uncle Ben, they kill Aunt May. And instead of like,
mhm,
Uncle Ben giving Spider-Man the with great power comes great responsibility, it's Harry giving him the speech. They
mhm,
change so much of it, but keep what makes him special. And that's the best thing I could compare it to. It's like if you liked Ultimate Spider-Man, you will love Absolute Batman because they're
mhm.
very similar in a lot of ways. And I say this in a good way, not in a way it's like, oh,
Mhm,
it's ripping off one another. Like no, it's almost like they bleed perfectly into each other so well.
mhm, and I think that's the appeal of things like Ultimate Spider-Man and Absolute Batman because comic characters can never truly die. They can't ever truly age. They're kind of stuck in this cycle where they just kind of regurgitate stories and plot points over and over again. When you have something like this where you can make changes, where you can kill people off, where you can like do things that are different and have characters age, it's exciting. It's like, okay, I can see Peter have a wife and kids. Thank God, finally. Like, I can read the Ultimates and see a character I like get killed off and be like, if they don't come back, that's a thing that could happen.
Hmm.
And it's so interesting. And it's like refreshing because I'm not reading Batman right now. I've taken a break from
No,
regular Batman.
I stopped
I haven't
reading
read it in a
it.
while.
I stopped reading it right when they killed the robot, but then I know the robot came back in like the Amanda Waller story.
Yeah, that's when I stopped reading. After
Like
I
Bat
forget the name of the robot, but
Bruce
it was mhm.
Bruce and his he bought like another house, and he was like, "Hey guys, we're starting up from the ground up again." That's literally the last thing I read, and I was like, "I'm done."
uh
It got too weird.
yeah, the last one I read was literally Failsafe. His name was Failsafe. It thought it killed Bruce, but Bruce was like zapped into the multiverse or something. That's when I gave up. I was like, I'm not in the
I
mood to
stuck
do
with it.
multiverse.
Let me write this coaster out, and
Mhm.
then Bruce fell
I
from
kept an eye on
space.
it
I liked
because
that.
Tim was
That
there.
was fun.
That was fun. That was fun. But I kept an eye on it because my boy Tim was there, and I love Tim Drake. That's my Robin.
One of my favorite
Um,
things is how like TikTok like fucking glazes up that scene where it's like we're doomed, and he's like we have to fight Failsafe as Batman and Robin, and it's such a cool panel because it's like half of it. It's like the anime thing
mhm,
where they cut it in half and their faces are like spliced together, and it looks so cool. But I'm like, the next scene, they literally get their asses handed to them. Like they get this whole fixed glow up. You're like, damn, my boys are gonna kick some ass, and then they just get fucking pounded. It's like not even a fair fight. I'm like, why are you guys doing this to me?
You know what I'm give you some hope. So you're like, oh yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. But it's to give them some hope. It's to be like, oh, they got this. Oh fuck, they do not. They don't have this. But yeah, shout out Tim Drake. I felt a little lied to because he was kind of being advertised as the like a long-standing partner.
Yeah, they did that whole thing when like because it was like Batman like 150 or something where he was like on the cover and he like with the Batman like insignia and they're like, oh, this is a whole new Batman going forward because it was like a whole new team. And I was like, oh sweet, Batman and Robin, you can never go wrong with that.
I will say this is a quick tangent because we do a million tangents on the show. One of the things I think is very
and that's enough for today. I'm just kidding. Go for
it. Is that I feel like a lot of proteges and mentors, they question Bruce. You know, Nightwing will be like, "Fuck you." Damian will be like, "Fuck you." Tim will be like, "Okay, what's happening? What's going on?" Tim is because Tim is the one Robin that chose to have the job. Because after Jason died and Nightwing was growing up,
Tim's the bottom. Bruce is the top. Oh wait, no, he's actually gay. Fuck, I forgot about that. I forgot. I was like, why are you looking at me funny?
I was just like, do you know what you're okay? I'm gonna ignore all of that. The thing is
okay, sorry, keep going.
Anyways, he chose the job. He was like, hey Batman, I notice you're being a dickhead, so I'm here to fill the Robin job to help you stop being a dickhead. Like he chose it. And there's been several instances where Bruce has gone crazy or he's been like disappeared somewhere. And Tim is like, all right, y'all can move on. I'm going to figure out where the fuck this dickhead went. And he finds him and he always finds him. And it's just, I think that's a very interesting dynamic. The Robin who chose the job rather than someone like Damian who was like born into it, or Dick and Jason who was, that's not canonical.
Wait, that's not canon?
Not canon.
I thought okay. Well, that's the first time.
Not anymore.
I never knew that. Okay, so sorry.
Yeah, not canon anymore.
You know, if we're retconning stuff, then you know, Green Lantern never kissed the minor, and then I'm just kidding. I just
and Slade never was a pedophile.
Yeah.
What else? Wonder Woman never
West was never conservative. Neck. Like, all right.
Wally West never killed a bunch of people at Sanctuary. That never happened. Everyone's fine. Nobody.
They all lived happily ever after.
They all lived happily. I'll read that fan fiction where everyone's happy and nothing goes wrong.
You know what's my headcanon is that like I like that this is the last thing I want to do. I like the story where like I think it's Joker kills Batman, and then it's something happens to Batman. Either Joker kills him or something, or he dies for whatever reason.
No, I think he does kill him. Yeah.
And then he's like, I need to go work for the DMV.
Yeah. There's this big thing where he's like, yes, I finally killed the Batman. Now, and it's like, wait, now what? Oh shit, what the fuck do I do? He's dead. And everyone's like happy, like, oh, Batman Day, and it like inspires everyone to be better by his death. And like he's more in service to death than he was in life because everyone's like inspired and Gotham cleans up and everyone's happy. And then Joker's just like, where's the one place I can go to still sow seeds of chaos? The DMV.
That's my headcanon. Like that's how it all ends. Joker kills him. The idea of Batman lives on. He's like, fuck, I want to be a dick. I'm gonna go work for the DMV.
Honestly, shout out to him. I love that for him.
See that going back to the thing too. That's why I love like the Batman franchise because it can be so serious, but it can also just be so fucking stupid. And that's what I like.
Yeah.
And it's like they're both equally Batman.
They swing back and forth all the time, so easily and so almost naturally.
Yeah. Like you can have your Arkham where it's like Oracle, we gotta stop the Joker. And we can have fucking Lego Joker. It's like we're not best friends. Like
it's just like I'm being enemies with a lot of people, Joker, not just you. I have arch nemesis everywhere, and he's just like, what? Oh my god. But yeah, that is really good.
Noah, what is the homework you are assigning people for the week?
The homework for this week is to watch Red One on. Just kidding.
You gotta watch it in IMAX, like how The Rock wanted it.
IMAX. I want you to go to my homework. is for everyone to go to the theater, watch Wicked, and sing along and get kicked out of the theater. I need you to memorize at least one of the songs beforehand. Know at least one song. It can be the TikTok popular one. Whatever. Just learn one of the songs and get kicked out. Because that'd be really funny. Lewis, what is your homework for the people?
Damn. That was like, I don't know how I'm going to top that. Your homework is to go and read Absolute Batman #1.
Hey.
And with that being said, if you guys made it this far, thank you so much. We appreciate y'all. We will see you guys next week. And take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.